Okay, so one of the things that you want to do whenever you're answering a multiple choice question, regardless of the type of question it is you want to read the question first because you're going to find out what type of question it is. For example, what it's asking you to do, and then also it might tell you where to find your answer. So in our example here, it says paragraph 10 builds upon the theme of. So we already know that we're going to be identifying the theme or main idea of something of the text. And this question also tells us where we're going to find the answer in paragraph number 10. So we know that we're going to be focusing most of our attention on paragraph 10. Okay, so after you have read the question, you need to go through the answer choices and identify keywords that are going to make the answer choice correct or incorrect. So here, answer choice A says discovering how close humans are to nature. So I know my keywords here are humans and nature. Whatever, when I look at the text, it has to talk about both of those two things. In answer choice B, it says rejecting modernity for a simpler way of life. So I know that I'll be looking for some kind of text evidence that talks about living simple. In answer choice C, it says finding a sanctuary from society by retreating into nature. So retreating into nature is something I'll be looking for in paragraph 10. And then in answer choice D, it says gaining a new perspective by undergoing a challenging experience. So I could say that new perspective is the keyword, but I could also say a challenge. So I'm looking for both of those two things in paragraph 10. So once you have identified your keywords and your answer choices, then it's time to actually read the text and annotate. Now, in a question where it tells you where the answer is, so for example, here it tells you paragraph 10, one of the key strategies for answering this type of question is to also look at one paragraph up and one paragraph down. Because sometimes looking at the context of that paragraph will help you to better answer the question. Sometimes they'll give you keywords in 9 or 11 that will help you to answer the question. So it says here that she's hiking up one mountain. Okay. That she didn't understand what a mountain was. Okay. Each time she thought that she reached the place that was the top of the mountain, she's wrong. Then she reaches the top, and it's got a lot of snow and wind. And then in paragraph 10, it says, it talks about the rain in the desert. It talks about the mountains. It describes the desert as dry, hot, and sandy, full of snakes, scorpions, and cactuses. She says her new existence was beyond analogy. So she's talking about her new existence, her new life. And in paragraph 11, it says that she's in entirely new terrain. So that idea of newness is repeated. So once you have annotated your text for some relevant information, then you can start to eliminate answer choices based on the keywords that you have identified. So for example, here in A, it talks about how close humans are to nature. Well, especially in paragraph 10, there is no discussion about humans, only nature. If you look at what I've underlined, it talks about desert, mountains, describing deserts and mountains. So here, that word humans makes this answer choice incorrect. When we look at paragraph 10 in answer choice B, okay, never does she talk about living a more simple life. And she also never contrasts it to modern like life, like for example, cell phones and computers and, that kind of life. She never does that. So here we can eliminate B. C, finding a sanctuary from society by retreating into nature. Now, retreating into nature sounds correct, but does she ever talk about society in paragraph 10? No, she does not. We just talked about how that eliminated answer choice B. So C is wrong. And just by using process of elimination, right, matching our annotations with our keywords, we can see that D is the correct answer here. Okay, we see that number one, she has gone through a challenging experience. She's climbing a mountain, right? But also that idea of a new perspective, that idea of newness, new existence, new terrain is repeated twice, both in paragraph 10 and 11. So I know that through text evidence, D is the correct answer. Now, once you have selected your answer, make sure that you can go into the text and you can point to evidence in the text that supports your answer. If you cannot point to text evidence that supports your answer is probably wrong. So there's a good way to check to make sure that the answer you've selected is correct. And that's how you go through a multiple choice question with some strategies that can help you to answer them correctly.